Danjo. Hey everybody, Matt the Greeter. Welcome to my humble channel. I'm gonna go in and see how the old folks are doing. Oh, what a nice time of day. What a nice time of night. We'll check out the old cemetery. So, Erastus, son of Joseph and Sally Bobbins, died a long time ago, 1800s. Yep, well, a lot of folks in there. I don't know how you feel about cemeteries. I like them. There's like a finite feel, a settled feel to a cemetery. So it's pretty good stuff. And yeah, I want to go in front of this guy, but I'm just gonna look this way so he keeps going, because people try to be nice and I don't like that on the roads. All right, let's do a little dipsy-doo, and maybe I'll tell you the gory details of my surgery. So, if you've been following my channel for a while, again, there's no accounting for taste, so I appreciate each and every one of you. But if you've been following my channel a while, I was away a bit because I had to have some surgery. So I had what you call nasal polyps. So these are polyps that form inside the nasal cavity, and if left untreated, you end up looking like that. And feeling like that, at least. So I could not breathe through my nose almost at all, unless I got a snap of road rage. Forget smell and taste for about 10 years. So this all follows a deviated septum surgery that I had, where they perforated my septum and didn't tell me. They didn't mention that to me. But anyway, you want to know the gory details. So first, I get the scope. So the ENT sprays a little stuff up each nostril, which didn't go far because there was no access, So she could gently ram or thread a camera in a little tube up each nostril to look around. Have a look. Come on in. It's open house. So in she went and was really impressed by the vast number. I probably could not fit another polyp in my nasal passages. Thus, my inability to breathe through my nose almost entirely. So I had to have surgery. I'm not going to talk about Tufts and how they did not approve the medicine that would actually shrink the polyps, so I wouldn't have to have surgery. Right, that's another Halloween story, as of yet unresolved. Hey, everybody I know that uses Tufts likes them, but so it's just me, I guess, that they persecute and deny the medicine that I need. But anyway, we'll get back to that another time. Hopefully not. So the day of the surgery arrives. The previous night, or I had to stop eating by sometime the previous day. So I wake up and I'm hungry, but I'll tell you why I got up earlier than I needed. This is because the pre-op nurse said, well, you can't drink anything after, 8 o'clock in the morning? But if you wake up before 8 o'clock, you can have clear fluids, water, blah blah blah. And I was like, can I have a cup of coffee, black coffee, which is the only way I drink it, really? And she said yeah. So that'll get me out of bed in the morning. If my last chance to have a cup of coffee, I'm there. So I got up, I woke my alarm up. I'm like, come on, and went and had a cup of coffee. And my father-in-law was good enough to drive. My wife came with us too. He drove me in, Mass Eye and Ear, right in the heart of Boston. Not too far as the crow flies, but traffic certainly doesn't fly. So we took all back roads and went right through the city and past Boston Common and the Boston Public Gardens and all that stuff. So got in there just in the nick of time, which is not really a thing when you go in for surgery, because you get there exactly when you're supposed to, but then you gotta wait a while, and so there I am, anxiety. I'm fueled by 1 cup of black coffee, which that's whatever, that's great. I was grateful for it. Well, my anxiety's getting high. So anesthesiologist or the anesthetist comes in, asks me questions, my heart is a-pounding. Somebody else comes in, asks me some questions, my heart is a-pounding. And then they're like, it's time. And so they take me into the back room and they put me on the bed. And well, before that, they give me the Johnny. They're like, it opens in the rear. And I'm like, hey. So I had to put the Johnny on. And, they verify my weight and all that stuff. Because I thought about saying I weigh 250 and seeing how much, anesthesia they give me. But I didn't. I told the truth. And I got just the right amount. But anyhow, so they got to thread a needle in for the IV, which is great. The nurse was super nice. So she went in through my hand and missed. Listen, I've got good veins, man. She missed. That's okay. 0 for 1. That's fine. She said, well, try up on your wrist. She's like, I always get it on the first try. This is not like me. Believe me. Oh, it's fine. I'm like, I don't really care. They're going to knock me out soon anyway, and this will all be but a happy memory. Bam, in through the wrist. Nope, missed again. Missed. So, like, all right. And so at that point I was like, can you use the crook of my elbow? Because you can't miss. It's like, you can't miss. I got ropes for veins there to the work I do and all that stuff. What's up, dude? And so finally we get the IV in. Everything's nice. I'm like, don't worry about it. A little performance anxiety on her part. Well, yeah, it's okay. It happens to everybody. I'm not judging. Then the big guy comes in, the anesthetist. How you doing? I'm like, oh, I think I'm about to do pretty good. So then he disconnects something and connects something else, and I start to roll, and then that's it. Beautiful. And so while I was out, they go in. I think it's with like a Dremel. and some other things to pry each nostril apart one by one, and away they grind, and blood and mucus and all kinds of stuff gets swirling around and sucked out, and all of of course the polyps, and the ENT afterwards was remarked, and these are people who are highly educated and very professional when it comes to the body. You can say or do just about anything and not get a rise out of them. But when she described how many polyps I had, there was almost a gleam in her eye, which I did not take offense to. And when she mentioned the amount of mucus that she had to suction out of my skull cavity, mucus which was trapped by these polyps which allowed nothing to drain, it was almost a chortle of incredulity and I don't want to say joy, but when you do something for a living, isn't it nice to have a day that's like, whoa, guess what I did today? You know what I mean? So I feel like in a small way I gave her one of those days. So Dr. Hurst, you're welcome. I hope you remember me. Oh, I hit that stick and it kicked up and hit me in the Indy Ridge Apache boot and did no damage. I rolled a 20 on my 20-sided die for foot armor. Thank you, Steve at Indy Ridge. So anyhow, so the post office, what's up, dude? The post-op was, so Dr. Hurst put in dissolvable packing material. So instead of like ramming splints up each nostril and filling it with a hard pack, she used dissolvable stuff, which long term is way better, and short term can be quite a bit better as well. So the in packing went. Then over the next several days, as I feel like I got punched by I want to say Mike Tyson. That's a cliche, right? But he's punched a lot of people. So you can go on I almost made a Golden State Warriors player reference, but I won't even stoop to mention his name, who punched a teammate of his. So it was like getting sucker punched by someone who had no business sucker punching me, and really painful. And over the next several days, I downshifted, by the way, unnecessarily, or upshifted. So the dissolvable packing, which had sopped with mucus and blood and all kinds of fluid, started to slowly break apart and leak down out of my nostrils, the back of my nostrils, and into my throat. At one point, I woke up. I thought I was trying to swallow a hot dog bun and it wasn't going down. But it wasn't. It was a blood and mucus-soaked chunk of dissolvable packing material that had slipped out my rear nasal passageway and into my throat. And I got up, made my way stoically to the sink, and I hawked that loogie, and then went straight for counseling. Yeah, just leave them in the street. That's fine. Just leave all the leaves in the street. That's fine, guys. But anyhow, yeah, so that's been my, so then I went for a couple of post-op visits to my doctor. She was amazing, by the way. And the rest of the staff at Mass Eye and Ear, amazing. So as much as I hate living around here, except for spots like this, the people that I know here are actually really super nice for the most part. And the doctors, man, you can't beat Boston for medical stuff. You just can't beat it. It's the perfect city. You can't afford to live here. So, you know, you're 4.5 hour drive from the place you can afford to the hospital. You'd be dead by the time you get here. But, you know, for those of us fortunate enough to live real close, it is a godsend. What a blessing. And so the last visit I had with my doctor, she had to go in with you know, she's been in a couple times with the camera, and it hurts. I gotta say, it's uncomfortable. And so she went in with the suction last time, the mucus devil, or whatever those in the trade call the mucus sucker, that they ram up your nostrils and deep, like this. So they go in so deep during this surgery that it's really close to the edge of your brain lining. Like that's a thing. Like if they make a tiny mistake, they can stab you in the brain with the. I mean, it's a serious thing. These doctors they're like, they can fly helicopters in their sleep. You know what I mean? They are, talk about steady hands. So yeah, but the suction, man, that thing goes up, and it's a super sucker, sucking all the guts and the mucus and the blood and the oh, God's sakes. It was really, 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 really gross, very supremely uncomfortable. And after like the, you know, I started to like recovered a little bit from that. Man, can I breathe so much better, so much better. So I guess it has a happy ending thus far, you know. And I'm really, really pleased with the care I got, and I'm really, really pleased with the results. Although it's something you'd never wish this surgery with a need for it on anybody, if you have to go through it, you know, and you're in the Boston area or near somewhere like Mass Eye and Ear, then just, you know, suck it up and do it, and just get it over with. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just worth it on the other end. And insurance did cover the surgery, even though, you know, maybe I wouldn't have needed it if they covered the medicine like they should have. But I'm not going to complain because it's done. Now I'm into maintenance for the next, I don't know, chunk of my life. I have to stay on top of it so they don't regrow. That's one of the risks, is that in some people the polyps can grow back right away, and that's crazy. We don't want that to happen. So thank you. So anyhow, now I just got to stay on top of it. So I missed a lot of details. I'm sorry. This was going to be gory and grisly, and it really wasn't that gory or grisly. So I do apologize. A little false advertising. Maybe I should have taken some pictures of my nasal discharge. Well, that's it. All right, maybe that did it. Maybe that upped the gore factor. All right, guys, I care so much about you. Let me know, do I sound any better? And I'm really looking forward to getting out and having a good riding season the rest of this fall, and hopefully through the winter. I hope we get enough good days where I can make some videos with you guys. All right, care about you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.